Crown Prince. Speak. Usaniel. Oh my Usaniel. I am happy you found me first. Usaniel asks, is it true that you ordered the eldest son of the Viscount to be executed? Prince. Indeed. As he committed an unjust act worthy of such, he proposed to you. How dare he, to my Usaniel. I love you very much, only look at me. Usaniel thought, how did things turn out this way? Where did things go wrong? In her previous life, she had been stabbed by a robber and suffered extreme blood loss. Her mother was shouting, please save my daughter. Usaniel spoke, Mom, I'm sorry for leaving first. Her mother stated, no, don't close your eyes, stay with us, don't leave me behind by myself. Suddenly, Usaniel woke up and thought, it's that dream again. Ganyel, her little sister in this life, asked, Sister, what's wrong? Does it hurt somewhere? Her mother and father said, let's stop the carriage immediately. Usaniel replied, no, it's okay. I just feel odd returning to the capital for the first time in 14 years. Then she thought, nothing has probably changed much in the 14 years I've been away from my hometown. It's been 20 years where I've been a stranger in this place. It was a common story. She had been murdered by an unidentified assailant in her previous life and then opened her eyes in this world. While this might be a cliché development for some, it wasn't for her because she neither read romance novels nor played video games. Ganyel asked, is this really our house? It's so big. Her mother replied, since you were born after we were exiled to Baron, it must be your first time here. Usaniel spoke, I'm sorry, because of me. Everyone was exiled to Baron. All of them came and scolded her, telling her not to talk like that. Usaniel thought, although this world felt unfamiliar at first, I've completely adjusted now. How could I not love them after all the love they've shown me? However, this is still not my place. Then she spoke, I want to transfer to the Kansean Research Institute. That institute mostly focuses on mana research. This is the best academy for nobles. In this place where elves and gods exist, mana research might help me find a clue on how to return to my original world. Then, at the academy, Usaniel thought, but who thought they would authorize my entrance admission immediately? Well, it's better for me if I can start mana research quicker. One of the noble ladies, Lily, asked, is that you, Lady Usaniel Hardrant? So, your family, who was chased out during the previous empire? The other ladies murmured, that's a long time ago. They should watch their mouths. If the crown prince, no, his majesty, hears. Usaniel thought, crown prince. Oh yes. I heard that Crybaby took the throne. That's already so long ago. Lily asked, are you ignoring me? How rude. Answer me. Usaniel thought, that child is from the Viscount family. When my family, who was one of the founding families, was exiled, the duchy's foothold naturally weakened, and the Viscount's power grew more powerful. I don't care about the power struggle between families, but there is no need for me to show mercy to someone who has shown hostility towards me. Usaniel stated, you are truly the daughter of a noble family. To call someone you have never met before by their first name. Did your family not have the funds to teach you etiquette? Lily shouted, I am not just any noble, and I am going to become the empress. How dare you? Can you, because you are a bit close with his majesty, when he was only the crown prince, when you are from a fallen family? Suddenly, the prince came and asked, Fallen, I definitely ordered the return of the Hardrant family. But it seems there is someone who has violated my imperial order. Drag her out immediately and sunder her throat. Usaniel thought, I definitely heard that Tess rose to the throne, but who is this man? Back at the time when Usaniel was 6 years old, she thought countless worlds existed in this universe. Each world was apart from each other, and they usually didn't know of each other's existence. But sometimes, there are those who go from one world to another. This book is not about such obvious things. I want a method on how to move between worlds. The prince came and spoke, I am here, I missed you. Usaniel replied, hello, your highness. The prince told her, nobody is around. Call me by my name and marry me today, then we can always be together. Usaniel replied, I told you, You are not my type. The prince asked, Then what is your type? Usainiel replied, My type is. And thought, I definitely heard that Tess ascended the throne, even though we did not contact each other for 14 years. I thought there was a reason. I even sincerely congratulated him for ascending the throne, but who is this cold-hearted man? One of the nobles spoke, Your Majesty, it's just a mistake from a young student. Please extend your tolerance and forgive her this once. The prince stated, The previous emperor snatched everything away from the innocent Hardrants. That's why I stated I would give everything back to them. How dare you, a mere Shane. Usainiel thought, his appearance is similar to Tess's, but even if it's been 14 years, how could one's personality change this much? Not to mention those black eyes and hair make no sense. Blonde hair and blue eyes are the sign of being a descendant of the imperial family, so to see people not being surprised by a black-haired emperor is strange. Usainiel spoke, Excuse me, Your Majesty, please forgive Lady Shane, although she did commit a grave error. If you forgive her, everyone will praise you. And she thought, If this man is that whiner Tess, he will listen to me, he has forgotten who I am. The prince stated, You are so generous, my lady, to ask for forgiveness for someone who insulted your family, how admirable. Usainiel thought, That expression, that man is definitely Tess. The prince stated, Don't kill Lily Shane. Lock her up in the imperial prison, and I want to look around the academy. Will you show me around, my lady? Usainiel replied, Yes, I will. Next scene, Usainiel thought, he did not say a word until we came into the forest trail. He could not have changed his appearance with magic. I can't feel any mana, and this world does not have contact lenses or hair dye. Is there some magic I am not aware of? The prince spoke, Usainiel, I am sorry. You are mad because I was so late. That's why you are calling me Your Majesty and greeted me by bowing your head. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I thought you did not remember me. Usainiel thought, I had a lot I wanted to ask when I met you. Why my family was exiled in the fall of my 6th year. Why you did not send a single letter for 14 years when we were so close. But seeing you cling to me and cry, as if you only have me, my heart becomes weaker. As if I have returned to being 6 years old. Are you really that child I knew? Usainiel asked, What is with your appearance? Why did you change your hair color and eyes? The prince asked, Why, do you not like it? This is your taste, black hair and black eyes. That's what you said your ideal type was. Now that I am emperor, we don't have to be apart anymore. You don't need to endure such insults like earlier. All that's mine is yours. Usainiel thought, Everything is strange. It feels like I have fallen into a perfect trap. The prince stated, I love you, we can be together forever now. Usainiel, remember when I was younger, I was called the child who doesn't cry. Since birth, I had been a weird, scary child who never cried and always looked straight at my parents. On the other hand, Tess was a child who always cried from the day he was born. Whenever he saw someone, he would cry. The emperor, worried about the crown prince not having any friends, organized a meeting between the two of us, the weird children. Since then, the prince would say, It doesn't hurt, my eyes are comfortable. Then Tess would follow me. It was annoying having him give all sorts of excuses to come and go to my home, but I didn't really hate it. Usainiel, speak of another useless one. Is there even a way to return to my own world? The emperor came and spoke, I missed you, so I came again today. What's wrong? Are you hurt somewhere? Usainiel replied, You idiot, come to the door, regardless of whether he was being sincere, to think that he would change because of what I said. There's no way that's possible. Emperor, what is it? What are you thinking about? Man, I'm in front of you. I'm disappointed. Usainiel, tell him stop. That's enough. I won't accept anything more as a joke. Is it true that you changed how you look because of what I said? Emperor, reply, Yes. I changed the emperor's clothing to fit your taste. You said you liked someone who wears black. So, do you like it? Usainiel thought, I don't even know where things went wrong. Emperor, ask if you want. I can change the decoration to black if there's anything you want. Usainiel. Ask, tell me how you changed your appearance. Answer me, please. Emperor replied, are you curious? If you marry me, I will tell you. Usainiel thought he's been what you want since earlier, but he's not going to avoid important things like this. My family being kicked out to Baron, my life. Something to do with your change in appearance, then said never mind, then I'm going back home. Emperor asked, can I go too? I used to go often a long time ago. I have a present for you. Usainiel replied, I don't need it. Emperor asked, even though it's an entrance pass for the royal library, the library finished construction of a new annex. It will have more books about magic than the Kansean. You can rent any book outside of the banned book section. You liked reading books, remember. I will wait for you in the palace. In return, come quickly, my patience is running thin. Usainiel thought teleportation. He can use the highest level magic. Next day Usainiel asked the royal guard, you kept going to the palace even after I went to Baron. Don't you think Tess has changed? Royal guard reply, well, His Majesty would only go around with you since a long time ago. In my eyes, he's still the same as when he was the crown prince. Usainiel thought, after that day, I asked my father and everyone else I knew about Tess. They all had the same response. They didn't know Tess's appearance had changed. Royal guard, tell her ever since His Majesty rose to the throne, there's been a bloody event, so you don't get involved if you can. Usainiel thought, right, I have a feeling I shouldn't get involved, but I can't lose this chance to learn more about magic. Emperor thought, you finally came. I have waited, my love. Usainiel thought, the empire's power is split into two major factions, the founding dukes and the faction supported by the emperors, the sole woman favored by the previous emperor. And the empress of the duke family was planned to be chosen from the daughter of the duke, but that got scrapped because Tess kept chasing after me. Our family has already been restrained from eyeing the empress position because of this. On top of that, there's a rumor that I am making my way to the palace right after returning. I don't want to bring harm to my family anymore. 14 years ago, in the imperial court, the emperor stated, I called you because I have something to ask you. Do you like the black color? Is your ideal type someone with dark hair and black eyes? Usainiel replied, yes. The emperor said, even the priest has given up on that child. The only name he calls out is your daughter. It's all because of that illegitimate child. Her mother spoke, watch your words. Elves are symbols of virtue and purity. To say that my daughter is mixed with elf blood is a pathetic argument. Whatever happened to your son was his choice. Don't take your anger out on my innocent daughter. The emperor stated, send that child to Baron and lock her there for life. Her father, the duke, shouted, I cannot allow Usainiel to be sent away alone. Send our entire family instead. The emperor said, very well, this is the utmost consideration I can provide for the family. Usainiel thought, I did not think I would ever return here. This place still feels unpleasant. Then in the library, Usainiel thought, wow, it's grown much larger than before. The librarian said, the emperor said you would come, it's been so long. Usainiel asked, is the emperor here? The librarian replied, yes, as soon as he ascended the throne, he ordered me to collect all the books you showed interest in as a child. After some time, Usainiel thought, the words of the previous emperor when I was driven to Baron and Tess changed appearance. Even though he did not forget me, he still left our family in Baron for years after ascending the throne. I harbor resentment for everything. It's become difficult to find books about magic, and I was beginning to give up hope in returning to the world I once knew. I know all of this is not your fault, but I can't just act as if nothing happened. The emperor came and spoke. So you came, Usainiel replied. As always, why can't you leave me alone? The emperor said, that's because I like you. Usainiel asked, then answer me, why does no one talk about your appearance, as if they can't see that you have changed? The emperor asked, are you curious about me? I am overjoyed, come here. Usainiel shouted, stop, I told you I won't be seeing you anymore. The emperor replied, you are stronger than you look, Usainiel said. so stop messing around already. What are we even talking about? The emperor spoke, I am quite fine as is. Usaniel stated, I said enough. The emperor spoke, ouch, that's so harsh, pushing me away without any explanation. Usaniel replied, be grateful I did not hit you harder. The emperor stated, seems like you met a good swordmaster in Baron. You have grown even stronger since we were kids. Usaniel thought, so you knew about my mentor, my childhood friend, the crybaby with a frail body. You did not just change your appearance, something about you has changed. What is it? This sense of uneasiness. It's strange yet draws my attention. I don't understand why my eyes keep looking at him. Maybe I'm just attracted to his new appearance. The emperor spoke, my love does love dark looks. I am glad to have caught your attention. It was worth the price I paid. Usaniel thought, price, then asked, how the heck did you change your hair and eye color, and why has no one noticed your transformation? Answer me honestly, without dodging the question. The emperor stated, I made a pact with the imperial palace, the first emperor, unified the continent despite the resistance from neighboring countries, and the power struggles with the nobles. He thought, what if they betray me? He synchronized himself with the imperial palace, so that he could monitor anyone within the castle walls. The pact continued even after him. The future emperors inherited this ability. In short, this is my territory. It's a secret passed down only to the successors. Besides, my abilities are far stronger than the predecessors. If someone enters the castle once, I can manipulate their memories. Usaniel thought, that's something. You talk about these enormous powers so casually. But even if the emperor's magic was powerful, it's not normal for the power to be passed on for generations post his death. Unless there is a powerful entity involved, there must be a strange force involved in this. I need to learn about magic more, she asked. Why are my memories intact? The emperor replied, because you are half-elf. Beings like elves or fairies, all the children of light, are resistant to the imperial abilities. Usaniel asked, aren't you worried? What if I start telling everyone the emperor is orchestrating a grand hoax? What are you going to do then? Then she thought, I feel a little mischievous. If I don't get back at you in some way, I won't be able to forget about being ignored for 14 years. The emperor stated, you would not do that because you have always been on my side. You are the only one for me. Usaniel thought, yes, I have always been on your side, and asked, do you think I would not feel anything after seeing how you change? I will be going. The emperor said, wait, you said you like this change. I am sorry. Please, if things go on like this, Leary Sheen will be executed. Usaniel replied, do as you please. The emperor asked, you don't like this version of me either? Usaniel replied, until we meet again, your majesty. Then she thought, it's not that I hate your change. I just need some time to sort out my feelings. And spoke, we should keep our distance for a while. The emperor said, Usaniel, please, I can't live without you. Usaniel thought. The emperor asked her if she also disliked him. She pondered. Also, what did he mean by that? You were always the only one on my side. That's right, I once used to think the same. Then, 14 years ago, the prince spoke. I am really happy that we can attend magic lessons together, Usaniel asked. You were throwing a fit to the duke to come along, were you not? The prince replied, if Usaniel is happy, then so am I. Usaniel thought, just as much as you trusted me, I trusted you too. Next scene at the Grand Mage's office, Usaniel thought, would the Grand Mage know how to cross dimensions? Maybe he could even notice that I am from another world. The Grand Mage spoke, as you mentioned, she is indeed very polite. The prince replied, right, Usaniel is incredibly smart, the prettiest, and the kindest in the world. She is going to marry me. Usaniel thought, saying such things in front of the empress's courtiers, and whispered, stop saying that. The prince asked, why? Someone might hear, isn't that right? The courtiers spoke, we should go now. After that, the Grand Mage taught them about magic. Usaniel asked if she had a question. Do you know the angel and the lumberjack at Mount Guanaxon? The angel who fell in love with him but had to return to heaven, so both are from different worlds. Is there a way to cross to another world? The Grand Mage replied, the essence of your question is mana. Mount Guanaxon is famous as a place where a lot of mana gathers from generation to generation. If we use that mana of the mountain, opening a door to another world is not entirely impossible. Usaniel was so happy. Grand Mage continued, unfortunately, however, I do not know of a way to open such a door. It was possible because it was an angel that crossed worlds. No matter how hard humans try, we will never be able to achieve such a feat. Usaniel thought, I finally found a way to return this time, but again failed. The Grand Mage continued, if they are non-human entities like ancient dragons or gods, they might know of a way. The prince asked, what about demons? Would demons know? Then at night, the prince said, I really like sleeping in Usaniel's room. Usaniel asked, you threw a tantrum in front of the carriage to come here, didn't you? The prince replied, yes, it would be good if you stayed at the palace. Usaniel asked, how can I sleep there when I can barely even breathe in that place? The prince spoke, that's because you are too kind. Usaniel continued, the palace is all gloomy. You are the only cheerful person in there. The prince spoke, let's get married already. The next moment he said, good night, and don't worry too much. Whatever you want, I will make it happen. Usaniel told him, but you don't know what I want, but thanks for the comfort. And she thought, I still loved your affection. Next scene, Usaniel thought, this place, it's that dream again. Mother, I am sorry I had to go first. Oh no, something is wrong with my body. It feels like I am being torn apart. It hurts. Mom, save me. Suddenly she woke up. The prince was saying her name and spoke, get a grip. I am right here. Usaniel replied, you are getting too close, never giving me a break. Are you? The prince spoke, I thought you were having a nightmare, so I woke you up. Seriously, you kept saying you were in pain. Usaniel thought, yeah, it did hurt. I can still vividly remember how it felt to be stabbed with a knife. Ever since I was reborn here, I keep having the same dreams of my previous life. It's like this world is rejecting me, urging me to return to my original world. It's as if I was cursed. Then at breakfast, her mother spoke. Good morning, Usaniel said, you are as strong as always, mother. Her mother replied, that's because I am an elf. Did our daughter sleep well? She is still young. It would be nice if she could sleep with us. The little crown prince was also there. After that the prince thought, I can't seem to move my hands well today, my fingers hurt. Usaniel spoke, Tess, have this instead and let me see your hand. Did you get hurt again? Her mother said, it seems Usaniel has a soft spot for the crown prince. Usaniel replied, it's not like that. Then she thought, in this world, our family is harmonious and healthy. But that was not the case in my previous life. My father abandoned our family and lived with another woman, and my mother had to take responsibility for me alone. She always gave me love, but my mother, who was originally weak, had her health worsen due to my father's infidelity. That's why I think when I see Tess, I am reminded of my mom, and I tend to take care of him. He is also clumsy and cries a lot, just like her. Even though he is in pain, he soon smiles just like her. After my death, I wonder if she was doing okay. It's not that I dislike my parents here. I am always grateful for the love they give me. But unlike them, my mom had only me. I must return to my original world as soon as possible. Usaniel spoke, Mother, I heard that elves, unlike humans, are closer to the fairy realm. So could you possibly know how to traverse between worlds? She thought, I need to go back. It is time for my return. Mother asked, why are you curious about such a thing? Usaniel thought. It would be easier if I were honest and asked for help, knowing that these people truly love me as their daughter, but I can't reveal that I don't belong in this place. She replied, because I have been taking classes from the Grand Mage, and there is a part one don't understand. I thought you, as the only elf in the capital, might have the answer, Mother. Mother spoke, oh, my darling. Did you hear that? It feels nice to be acknowledged by Usainiel. Unfortunately, I can't provide information about other worlds, it's a secret. Unlike fairies born and living in the fairy realm, elves are bound to keep any truth unspoken while living in the human realm due to certain restrictions, kind of like a contract. Usainiel asked, so, is the contract with a god? Which god created it? Mother replied, well, I am not sure about that. Usainiel thought, this is a disaster, asking mother was my last hope. After some time, the prince asked, maybe you should calm down for a bit, these books are useless. Nothing seems useful. Then he asked, you seem off today. Usainiel asked, do you like me? The prince replied, I really like you, so live with me. Mom and dad said I could marry a really nice person. Usainiel spoke, don't ever say that in front of others, and thought, because your mom is watching with her eyes blazing. She even regularly holds children exchange parties to connect her son with the young master of the Duchy of Sheen. I wonder if he is truly clueless. Usainiel continued, not to mention, you need to be of age to get married, plus my taste is. The prince stated, I know, a man that does not cry and is good at magic, but not arrogant, and looks like the night sky with black hair and black eyes. Usainiel spoke, you know me well. You know, then it's about time. The prince said, but I am blonde with blue eyes, can't I change Usainiel's tastes? Usainiel replied, you have already failed the not crying part, and tastes can't be changed just like that. The prince asked, even so, is it not okay to like me? Even if I promise to let you read any book you want and take classes every day. If you want, I can give you all the jewels and dresses in the world. Usainiel replied, you can't have your way just by throwing a tantrum, you can't force a heart to change. The prince said, I am sorry. Usainiel continued, let's go, we should head back to the palace. He replied, I don't. And thought, I don't want to go back, I don't want to be away from you. Then she spoke, I will go if you hold my hand. After that, the prince thought, Usainiel, you are always kind to me, but that's not enough. I want to get your attention, your love. How can I do that? The next day, friends said, wow, you are amazing. The count spoke, you have a good form. Have you learned how to wield a sword before? Suddenly, Edel came and said, you are not showing up for our sword lesson, so I came here to get you. Usainiel replied, sorry, I forgot to tell you that I would not be able to make it today. The next moment, the prince asked, who told you that you could just walk in here as you please? Hurry up and leave, she is spending time with me today. Then he slapped him. Usainiel asked, are you all right? Edel replied, I am fine. The prince stated, I am hurt too, I am in more pain than he is. Usainiel thought, his outbursts grew worse as time went by, so he tried to separate me from not only Edel but also everyone else around me. As a result, my family became the topic of gossip. Nevertheless, I did not think Tess's obsession with me was a serious problem. I thought he was just clinging to me because he was a child, and I was his first friend. Usainiel spoke, don't worry, no matter who I meet, you will always be my friend. And that was how I always calmed him down. Before long, he had an early growth spurt. Mother asked, I have not seen the crown prince around lately. Father replied, I heard he can't go outside due to his growing pains. Mother asked, are you sad that you can't see the crown prince? Usainiel replied, not at all. I just miss taking my magic lessons at the palace. Mother spoke, then why don't you use this chance to take more sword lessons with Edel? If the two of you get engaged as a result, then all the better. That way you would be able to put more distance between yourself and the crown prince. I couldn't care less about petty rumors. I just have a feeling that growing closer to the crown prince won't be good for you. This is what my elf's intuition is telling me. Usainiel thought, getting engaged is not a bad idea. If I were to have a fiancé, Tess would have no choice but to watch his behavior around me. It's a logically sound choice, but... Then she spoke, no, I don't plan on growing close with anyone, and thought, after all, I will be returning to my original world at some point, so I can't deepen my relationship with anyone in this world. She told her mother, "Don't worry, he is like a little brother to me." But contrary to what she had told her mother, Tess had grown a considerable amount when she saw him again. He was so much taller now. The prince spoke. "I sent the guards away, so we are alone here. Stop speaking to me politely and don't bow to me either. If you treat me like a stranger, my heart will feel like it's being torn apart. Your face is red." Usainiel replied, "Shut up. It's only because I feel nauseous whenever I am at the palace. I have to mind my etiquette, starting from the checkpoint at the entrance. It's exhausting, you know." The prince told her, "Don't worry, there is no need for you to bow to me, and if you want, I will change everything to make it easier for you to travel anywhere in the empire." Usainiel asked, "How are you going to change the empire's laws?" The prince replied, "That is a secret for now, so please be patient." Usainiel thought, although I can't clearly recall the looks on his face back then. That was when my elf's intuition activated for the first time. I could tell something was not right. But after that, Tess confined himself within the palace, and because demons appeared at the border, causing chaos in the empire, I quickly forgot the ominous feeling from that day. After some time passed, Tess's 6th birthday arrived, with 35 days remaining until the Haldrant family is exiled from the capital. Nobles were chatting. "Look, Duke Haldrant and his family are here as well. I hear the dress Lady Usainiel is wearing is a gift from His Majesty. There are even rumors that His Highness has gotten better thanks to her. Look, Lady Orange Cheyenne is also here. They say both ladies are on bad terms, because they are fighting over the position of Crown Prince." After that, the Emperor and Empress arrived, and the Crown Prince was with them. Usainiel thought, "This is the first time I am seeing Tess after the day in the library. He looks pale. Is he still sick?" "Oh no." Our eyes met. The prince tried to approach. The Empress spoke, "You must maintain your dignity. Everyone is watching you." The prince replied, "I don't care. I want to go talk to Usainiel." Nobles started murmuring. I guess the Haldrants are also trying to have their daughter marry into the imperial family, like everyone else. Usainiel thought, all of the empire's nobles are gathered here. The bigger the commotion grows, the worse it will be for my family. I don't want to cause any more trouble for them. She spoke, "Your Highness, I apologize for greeting you late. I wish you a happy birthday." The prince replied, "Don't greet me so formally." Usainiel thought, I know Tess did not want me to do this, but I have to draw a line between us today. After that, Usainiel thought, Tess, you will also be making public appearances from now on, so I have to put some distance between us at these formal events, but I did not think he would make such a sad face. Edel came and spoke. Why are you standing in the corner of the hall by yourself? Everyone wants to talk to you, Usainiel replied. When I don't want to talk to them. How did you receive such an invitation in the first place? Edel replied, Well, His Highness put in a request for me. I heard he asked His Majesty for the favor himself. I guess he recognized my talent, Usainiel thought. But Tess despises Edel. Why would he do such a thing all of a sudden? Edel told her, Anyhow, it's worrying that His Highness is constantly ill. He even took foreign medicine. But I heard it has not helped, Usainiel asked. He is that sick. I thought he was just experiencing growing pains. Suddenly, lightning struck. Usainiel thought, my memories of that day are still vivid. The palace was suddenly hit with a storm of thunder and lightning, and Tess collapsed. All the nobles were running away, and our family hurried home as well. My father said the imperial physician is here, so His Highness should be all right. You will see him again later, Usainiel thought. But my father was wrong. That was the last time I saw the Tess I knew. After that day, the Emperor exiled my family to Valen, and 14 years later, the Tess I met was a completely different person. Edel asked, What are you thinking so hard about? Usainiel replied, I was just looking back on the past and trying to recall how I ended up here. Edel asked, Looking back on the past, which part of the past? I want to know. What do you think you are doing? Lady Arun replied, Stop prying. Did the Imperial Knights not teach you anything about tact? Edel replied, That's rich, considering how you butted in on our tea time. Next scene, Usainiel thought, I ended up coming here before I realized it. It is the same dream my parents planted in celebration of my birth. Tess and I played here often when we were little. I thought it would have died. Since no one was here to take care of it after we were banished, I said I wanted to put some distance between us for the time being. Suddenly, the emperor came and spoke. I had no choice. You were not coming to me, so I had to find you instead. Eusaneal spoke. I told you not to come to our estate. The emperor asked, why not? I came over often in the past. Do you really hate me now? I am sorry. I will even spare Lily if you wish, so please don't hate me. Eusaneal replied, I don't hate you, but you are the emperor now. We can't just treat each other as friends like before. I don't want any strange rumors about my family spreading again. The emperor told her, don't worry, no one will even bother you again. I promise. Didn't I say I would give you everything you wanted? Eusaneal thought, you are saying the same words with the same look on your face as when you were young. It looks like time has not changed you one bit. Maybe I am the one who has changed. Eusaneal said, all right, then the way I used to, but I won't do it when there are other people around, and don't come here again. My parents will feel uneasy if they see you. The emperor replied, okay and thank you. Eusaneal spoke, I can't breathe. You are also just as clingy as ever. Then she thought, it may have taken 14 years longer to get here, but it's fine. I have been admitted into the concilium and can freely visit the imperial library as well. From this point forward, I can just focus on researching magic. Tess is all right, and my family was allowed to return to the capital. Now I can return to my original world with my mind at ease. At the end of the day, nothing has changed between Tess and me. After that, the emperor asked, you continue to learn swordsmanship and magic in Valen? Eusaneal replied, yes, I was fortunate enough to meet some great teachers. Thanks to them, I think I will have an easier time with my classes. The emperor said, you really are amazing. Eusaneal asked, what about you? What have you been up to all this time? Then she thought, after being exiled to Valen, there was a time when I resented Tess. Our family was innocent. We had been stripped of all our rights, and you had not returned to me at all. So, I thought you were having a nice life without me. But when I heard what happened to you, His Majesty practically shut the crown prince inside the palace after his birthday. No nobles lower than a duke are allowed to enter the palace. Then the empress gave birth to a new son. My resentment quickly turned into bewilderment. After the birth of another successor to the throne, Tess must have had some rough days. His parents could not have been happy about the changes he was going through. The emperor replied, isn't it obvious? I only thought of you during that time. Eusaneal spoke, yet it took you an entire year after becoming the emperor to let my family return to the capital. Do you know how long you kept me waiting? The emperor asked, were you waiting to see me again? That makes me happy. Eusaneal replied, no, I was not waiting for you. I was waiting for my family to be allowed to return to the capital. The emperor stated, well, I was waiting for the day. I prayed every night that I would see you again. I missed you so much. You are turning red. Do you feel hot? Eusaneal replied, it's your fault. You keep acting strange. The emperor replied, but I have always acted like this. Eusaneal said, that's true, but something feels a little. Then she thought, come to think of it, Tess always made physical contact with me when we were younger, so why is it making me feel so flustered now? I keep feeling conscious of him. The emperor asked, different, why? Eusaneal replied, I must be feeling a bit shy because we have not seen each other in a long time. Then she thought, what is the matter with me? Why do I feel this way all of a sudden? The emperor stated, it's all right. We can keep doing this until you grow accustomed to it again. On that note, you should come to see me often. Eusaneal told him, do you think I would want to when you keep acting this way? And I will be busy researching magic, so I won't be able to visit you for the time being. He replied, no, you will be coming to see me. Then, at night, Eusaneal thought, he sounded quite confident. What could he have meant by that? He left a vague message like that before he disappeared. How frustrating. Why are the lights on in the sitting room at this hour? Next scene. Marquis spoke, "Lady, please help me, please save my daughter. It has already been a few days since she was locked away in the palace dungeon. At this rate, she might really die." Usaniel spoke, "I don't know why you are talking to me about this. Your daughter was imprisoned because she insulted my family. As the victim in this situation, there is nothing I can do for you." The Marquis spoke, "I will apologize for my rudeness, so please save my daughter. Lily may be immature, but that is not something that has to be punished like this." Usaniel asked, "I don't know why you keep saying that she is going to die. Even if she was imprisoned on the Emperor's order, the daughter of a Marquis can't be killed so easily. The Confederation of Nobles will surely oppose it." Usaniel's father told her, "That confederation is no more. His Majesty has eliminated over half the nobles who were in it." Usaniel thought, just how much has the playing field changed while we were away from the capital? After that, her father spoke, "At least the Marquis' son was in his right mind. Otherwise, I would have had the guards drag his father out." Usaniel asked, "Anyway, what were you saying before, father? The Confederation of Nobles no longer exists. What do you mean? The nobles in it were eliminated." Her father replied, "I heard that some of the nobles were plotting to replace the crown prince, while we were still in Valen. However, their leader, Duke Rantia, suddenly died, and after that, the Imperial Knights swore allegiance to the crown prince. The plot was forgotten." Usaniel spoke. "So that's why Tess got rid of those nobles as soon as he rose to the throne." Her father replied, "His Majesty exposed all the dirty business those nobles had been up to and seized all of their land and property. It now belongs to the Empire. Looking back on it now, I think our family was fortunate to have been exiled early. I hear His Majesty has calmed down since our return to the capital, but the atmosphere at the palace is still very cold, so be careful." Usaniel spoke, "Yes, father, don't worry." After that, Usaniel thought, "I was going to stay away from the palace for the time being. But I heard that some of the nobles were plotting to replace the crown prince." After hearing something like that, I can't help but worry. Everyone seems to think the Emperor is a dangerous tyrant, but that's only because they don't know the real Tess. While I am here taking care of the Lily business, I will have to see for myself whether Tess is really all right. The Emperor came and spoke, "I was right. I told you you would be coming to see me." Usaniel asked, "Why are you doing this to Lily? There is no need to punish her to this extent." The Emperor replied, "Because she dared to insult you. On top of that, you now seem worried about her, which makes me want to spare her even less." Usaniel replied, "It's not that I am worried about her, she is my friend's sister, and I don't want any unsettled business with the Cheyenne family." The Emperor asked, "Then kiss me, and I will let the girl go." "You have to kiss me," Emperor said. "Wow, that was so close. I thought you would kiss me for real this time, but it's fine, your hand tastes plenty sweet too." Usaniel felt something new, then spoke, "Stop that. I should have known there is no talking sense into you." The Emperor said, "That hurts. Are you angry at me?" Usaniel replied, "It's supposed to." The Emperor stated, "I will spare Lily." Usaniel replied, "Whatever, do what you want." Then thought, I really almost kissed him back there. Snap out of it. The Emperor told her, "Don't be mad, I am sorry." Usaniel thought, he is Tess, he is the crybaby who was scared of everything, threw tantrums, and always followed me around. I had to look after him all the time because he was so frail. He is a childhood friend who is like a younger brother to me, at least, that's what I thought he was. The Emperor asked, "Have you forgiven me now?" Usaniel thought, "So why does my heart keep racing because of him?" After some time in the carriage, Usaniel thought, my heart was going to explode. I had to use every ounce of my restraint just to act cool. I am glad I got out of the palace. If Tess found out that he made me flustered, he would try to set a wedding date right away. Though, I do think he would look good in a white suit. Seriously, why am I acting like this? I can't push Tess away. It's not just his face either. His scent puts me in a daze, and his gestures are subtly seductive. Whenever I am near him, my entire body feels hot. he changed so many things for me and lost just as much because of me. Seeing as how you keep entering my thoughts, no matter how much I push you away, you might have a stronger grasp on me than I thought. But I have to focus on returning to my original world. Will I be able to turn a blind eye to your affection, after you have suffered for 14 long years? Next scene, Now spoke. Greetings, lady, I came to discuss what happened before, Eusaneal stated. I saw that you had written a letter requesting permission to visit this time. It seemed like you were not aware of the proper procedure before. Now spoke. Yes, I wanted to apologize for that. I am sorry for the rudeness exhibited by my father and Lily. Eusaneal thought, this is unexpected. I did not think he would actually lower his head before me, and said, please get up, you are not the one who needs to apologize. Now stated, but I do, my lady, my family has made a mistake, so it is only right that I take responsibility as the next head of the household, Eusaneal replied. You and Arun are very similar. Then why is Lily the only one with a different personality? Now spoke. You must know that my family is attempting to produce the next empress, but as you know, that did not go well. She was born to become the empress and sees herself as always being interested in doing so. She must have been quite anxious about your return to the capital, because you and His Majesty have an intimate relationship, Eusaneal spoke. That is not the case. His Majesty and I are friends, that's all. Naus said. That is a relief, Eusaneal asked. What did you say? Naus replied. I was apologizing for Lily's actions, Eusaneal stated. Then I will accept your apology, and Lily will be fine, so there is no need to worry about her. Naus spoke. Lady, you are still the honorable person I admired in the past. I hear you have been receiving quite a few invitations to parties and banquets. Would it be all right if I escorted you to them? Eusaneal thought, now that I am back in the capital, it is important to keep up with the goings-on of high society. If my partner is a member of the Cheyenne family, it would be easier for me to gather information. And replied, very well, I shall inform you of the events that I plan to attend. Now said, the next time we meet, I hope you will refer to me by my name only. Please feel free to address me casually. A few days later in the carriage, Naus and Eusaneal are chatting. Naus speaks, I see you are still addressing me formally. Eusaneal replies, well, we are not all that close yet, and thought he should know that a man and a woman calling each other by name only can lead to misunderstandings, especially if they are not even friends. She then asks, or have the rules of our society changed while I was away? Do people call the members of their rival family by their names only? Naus starts laughing and replies, of course not, the rules have not changed. I see you are still keeping me at a distance. Even when we were younger, you would not let me call you by name only. But then you became friends with Oren, so I doubt this will cause any problems between our friends. Please just think of me as the younger brother of one of your close friends, or is there another reason why you are opposed to it? Eusaneal speaks, well, since you are my friend's younger brother, I suppose I could just call you by your name only. Then at the banquet, Eusaneal speaks, what is this? Did you two come here as partners? When did you become so close? Ellet replies, not like that. You said Lord Naus would be escorting you here, so I had no choice but to come with Lady Oren instead. Oren asks, is this the thanks I get for doing you a favor? After some time, Lady Oren speaks, I should be the one thanking you for getting Lily out of that dungeon with a mere fine. His Majesty released her on the condition that my family hand over our territory in the south. Eusaneal asks, but isn't the diamond mine there your family's main source of income? Oren replies, well, it's still better than Lily dying. Eusaneal thought, she thinks Taze would just free Lily, yet used this chance to weaken the Cheyenne family, and used Lily as an excuse to fill the imperial family coffers legally. His goal must have been to strengthen the imperial family power. And speaks, I see that Crybaby made quite the strategic move. Oren replies, His Majesty is no longer the same crown prince you remember. He weeds out all corruption, no matter how small, so it won't come back to bite him in the future. Truthfully, it's a miracle that my family is still around. Usainiel states, he seems to be handling state affairs better than I expected. 14 years is a long time after all. And then thought, everyone around me has grown a lot in these past 14 years. Looks like I will have to step up my game as well. Then at night, her mother asks, did you have a good time? Her little sister also asks, how was high society? Usainiel replies, don't even get me started. I was surrounded by people all night. It was so tiring. But considering the fact that this is the first event I attended in high society, I think I did all right. Her mother asks, who are you more drawn to, Naus or Edel? If it's hard for you to decide, I am fine with you seeing both of them. You should try courting as many men as possible. Her father comes and asks, my daughter is courting, and more than one man at that. Usainiel speaks, it's not like that, father, her mother tells her, but you can only marry one of them. After some days, Usainiel thought, after my return to high society, I became tremendously busy. During the week, I took part in the magic research project, and on the weekends, I attended gatherings in high society with Naus. As a result, people stopped speculating about my relationship with Taze. There is no end to the research I have to do. Come to think of it, I have not had the time to see Taze because I was so busy. Well, Taze has not contacted me either, so he must be busy as well. All the research I am doing now is necessary to find a way back to the original world. I finally have an opportunity to look for a way back, so I need to concentrate. After some time, Usainiel thought, as if I don't have enough on my plate already. Now the New Year's ball is coming up too. Her little sister asked, is there always a ball on New Year's Day? Usainiel replied, on New Year's, families give the people supplies like oil and food to honor the dead. After the supplies have been distributed, the palace holds a New Year's ball that lasts several days. Her little sister told her, how about you use that red jewel? I am talking about the one you received for your 18th birthday. Usainiel replied, so you mean this jewel? Then I will look for a dress that matches. And thought, when I turned 18, I was practicing with my teacher. He is the best swordsman. After I found out that he and my mother knew each other, our relationship has continued to this day. There was a time when I struggled to accept reality. After arriving in Valen, I felt despair over the fact that I could no longer find a way back to my original world, and guilt over being the cause of my family's exile. These feelings were a heavy burden on my back then, but as time passed, my wounds gradually healed, and my memories of what happened at the capital began to fade. But then I received that gift. My whole family and teacher congratulated me on my birthday, Mother said. Sometimes I think you are closer to Bernard than us. Usainiel replied, well, we do spend a lot of time together. You said I needed to get stronger and told me to take more lessons with him. Bernard said, that's because of the prophecy. You need to become stronger in preparation for it. Mother shouted, watch your mouth. Bernard replied, oh dear, my mistake. Usainiel thought, I have not seen Mother this angry since our audience with the Emperor. I don't know what they are talking about. But does this prophecy have something to do with it? Then my other teacher, Book, came and said, happy birthday, and after some time, he said, here, this is my gift for you. It's a book on fire magic. I am sure you will find it pretty helpful. Usainiel asked, how did you know that I was having a hard time mastering fire magic? Book replied, you were struggling to activate fire magic during our lesson before, and I will teach you some tips during our next lesson, so don't worry about fire magic. Usainiel stated, you are the best mage I have ever met, and your lessons are easier to understand than the ones I received at the capital. Book said, take this. Usainiel asked, a jewel, it is so beautiful. I can't take my eyes off its shiny red surface. I have never seen one this big before. What kind of jewel is it? It does not seem like a ruby. Book replied, I was not the one who prepared this gift, so I am not sure. Usainiel asked, then who is it from? Book replied, my memory is a bit hazy. But while I was on my way to your home earlier, a boy gave it to me and asked me to pass it along to you. The boy said, can you do something for me? I wanted to give this to Usainiel myself, but I couldn't yet, so I'm asking you to do it instead. Usainiel asked, what did he look like? Did he have blonde hair and blue eyes? Book replied, well, strangely enough, I can't remember his face. I think he cast some sort of memory spell on me, and a very powerful one. Usainiel thought, maybe it was not him, and asked, do you remember anything else about him? Book replied, what I do remember is that his clothes were much too thin for the weather outside. His entire body felt as cold as ice, and although he was smiling, it looked like he might cry at any moment. After some time, Usainiel thought, there is only one person I am close to who does not call me Usainiel. Only he would walk around in this weather in thin clothes, and wait in the freezing cold to give me a present. Only him. It has to be Taze. I want to believe that it's you, so this jewel was from you after all. Even Book had never seen this mysterious jewel before, so I was curious about it. I even tried analyzing its components but failed to identify what kind of jewel it was. But I know one thing for certain, whenever I look at this vivid red color, my heart feels like it's breaking. It feels like you are begging me not to forget you. Judging by the size of this jewel, it must be quite expensive. What were you thinking when you had Book pass this on to me? The next day, Father said, you have been staying overnight at the Conceum often these days. Is your research keeping you busy? Usainiel replied, yes, the Empire has had many mana storms in the last 10 years, so there is much for us to investigate. Father said, you only just transferred to the Conceum, so you don't have to participate in the mana research project right away. Usainiel replied, I promise I won't let this affect our family's reputation. I already received lessons on history and liberal arts from teachers. Father asked, our family's reputation? Why are you bringing that up right now? Mother said, this is not what your father is worried about. You have also been attending social gatherings on the weekends, so you have barely gotten any rest. We are just worried about you. Usainiel thought, I am preparing in advance. This way, I won't have to worry about your safety when it's time for me to leave. It took me a long time to get used to this world. But even now I suffer from nightmares about what happened 20 years ago. Mother asked, could it be that you are still having nightmares? Usainiel said, no, I haven't had any nightmares since I was little, and I promise not to push myself too hard with my research at the Conceum. Also, you like it when I attend social gatherings, Mother. Then Mother said, you have to meet a lot of men in order to find the right one for you. Little sister said, Usainiel likes men who are more beautiful and gentle, and if he has a nice smile and a modest personality, that's even better. Usainiel asked, and why do you have such a specific idea of who I like? Sister replied, do you remember when we went out to town to buy supplies in Valen last winter? You helped a man on the street back then. Usainiel remembered, yes, and thought that he was Taze, but the boy said his name was Meal and asked, may I treat you to some tea to repay you for your kindness? Usainiel thought, snap out of it, this man is not Taze, and replied, I am sorry, but I have to run an errand. Little sister said, you were staring at him for so long that I thought he was your type. Mother asked, did you say his name was Meal? His name ends in L, so there is a chance that he is an elf like me. Usainiel thought, Mother, I am not rushing to find a way back to my original world solely because of my nightmares. The longer I am here with you all, the less sure I am that I will be able to say goodbye to you. After some time in the room, Seal asked, is something bothering you? You haven't spoken at all since dinner. Like I said, I was just joking around about finding another man attractive. You know you are the only one for me. Millen replied, I just recalled the nightmares Usainiel used to have when she was younger. You remember how serious they were. Seal responded, of course. How can I forget? The first thing she did upon waking up was reassure us. She doesn't like making us worry, which makes me worry even more. Do you remember when she was in a bad mood, because the Crown Prince did not call us back to the capital right after his rise to the throne? I was honestly happy to hear that. The child always hides her emotions, so I thought she was finally opening up. But she has put up her walls again after our return to the capital. It's as if she is running away from something. It would have been better if we had just stayed in Valen. That is why we need to stop her from getting involved with the imperial family. In order to prepare for what is to come, Usainiel needs someone supportive beside her, not a high and mighty emperor, but someone who would give up everything for her. Milan told her, "Don't worry, His Majesty has been quiet lately, and Usainiel is adjusting to her life here, so everything will be all right." Then, on the day of the New Year's ball, Mother said, "Everyone seems excited because it is the new year. And of course, my daughter is today's star and the most beautiful of them all. It's also her birthday today." Then Father came and said, "I have been waiting for you." After some time, Usainiel thought, "Mother seems to be putting in more effort today. Maybe it's because she hasn't been out in high society in a while. I will just go take a look around. Was there always a painting hanging here? Wow, I only heard about this painting before. It's the creation of the empire by Rosalind. The first emperor made a pact with God. I heard Lux is typically represented in white. Then who on earth is this god painted in black?" Like this video. Hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.